What's going on, everyone? Sorry for the delay. Waiting to make sure that we're live before I talk too much. Yes, hey, what's going on, everyone? So yeah, again, sorry for the delay. Puppy problems, puppy problems. But yeah, super excited. Welcome to another Rokoko Office Hours. Hello, everyone in the chat. I'm Sam Lazarus, creative director for Rokoko, and as soon as I get my coffee in me, we're going to start it up. And we got some really fun, exciting things to do today. We're taking a look at the new Rokoko Studio update, which is so awesome. And we're going to go through all the new stuff in there, which is some really exciting Unreal Engine stuff. Some new, we lifted a polygon limit count for imported characters, so you can have characters up to 300,000 polygons now. New API stuff, so we're gonna go through all of that. What's going on, London? What's going on, Korea? What's going on, all over the world? What's going on, Luke? Good to see you, Luke. What's going on, NSA? So, yeah, let's kind of get into it. But before we start, we are going to be doing a new little, we're gonna be doing a new segment, which is just going through some of the news. I've just been clipping out things that I think are interesting. Put other, interesting stuff that you want to talk about or shout out or exporting. We're gonna get into exporting to UE5. We're gonna go through that whole workflow. It's not there, there's some hoops to jump through. It's just the way it is with Unreal retargeting. And I'll say at the beginning, Unreal retargeting is imperfect. There is really no way to fix foot sliding in Unreal, as far as I can tell, without doing some very annoyingly complex things. So, we have a new workflow for Unreal. Maya is still the best program to do your retargeting in. It just is for AAA mocap. It just is. Blender's second best, and Unreal's getting better, but we're gonna go through it. Export hard model to export shape keys. We're gonna get into all that, NSA. I don't know. There are no shape keys, or there's no blend shape ability to read in Rokoko Studio. So we're going to be adding. Usually that's for facial motion capture. We're going to be adding that later. It looks like I'm lagging, but hopefully I didn't go down. I'm just going to wait and see if it stops giving me weird feedback. Okay. Hopefully it didn't just cut all that out. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into some exciting, fun news. So I'm going to put all these links down in the description below after the stream. Yes, I know. Maya's amazing. But let's go through some of the exciting, news of the day, things that I want to shout out. So 2-Minute Papers, incredible, fun video. They're great. Love 2-Minute Papers on YouTube. Great way to just find out weird stuff and go down rabbit holes. But they did a great video on DLSS 3.5 and why it's so amazing. And so it's just interesting stuff to go check out. It probably is released this week because, of course, the new Cyberpunk 2077 update with the new DLSS settings was released this week as well. So Digital Foundry put out this great video that talks about, what DLSS is, kind of goes through some of the fundamentals of ray tracing. It was just interesting information to me. What's going on, South Korea? So this is a good one, check it out. The Unity drama, continues. They put out, everyone was very angry at Unity with some of their, runtime fees that they had thought about implementing. They put out a Wizards of the Coast style apology. So they're rethinking that after the backlash and after devs started doing an exodus to Unreal. Hopefully this all gets sorted because Unity is awesome. And we want there to be competition in the market for video game engines. We don't want Unreal, even as a primary Unreal user. That's the worst thing in the world is Unreal. Yeah, we're talking fun stuff. We're doing news now, Alberto. but yeah, you know, the last thing you want is a monopoly on something like that. We want Unity to exist so it can challenge Unreal to be better. We want Unreal to exist so it can challenge Unity to be better, and on and on. So we'll see, you know, see what happens with that. Cinema 4D 2024 was released. They introduced some crazy new rigid body stuff and just simulation stuff. So bunch of new tutorials out there if you're using Cinema 4D. 3D Bonfire is one of my favorites. This is a great tutorial. Go check it out. Awesome new stuff. And then also on the Cinema 4D, in Cinema 4D world, they've started, the Maxon training team has been putting out this demystifying post-production live stream, and they go through motion capture workflows in C4D. Thanasis, the nose man, you know, and Joe, they're C4D hardcore nerds, which is great. They really understand how and why things work the way they do in C4D, so it's very technical, but could be worth a watch if you're looking for more Cinema 4D info. You know, also shout out our retargeting tutorial, which covers a lot, I think, of the major principles they go through, but, you know, something to check out. Ooh, next up, this is really exciting. So big, medium, small, which we're going to be using big, medium, small assets today. They are a model company. They make models, and you've probably seen their things in a lot of different works, but they're getting closer to finishing the Japanese Backstreets collection. So just something to keep an eye on. You know, I think this one's going to be amazing, obviously. Everybody likes cables. Like, just, you know, forget Japan and Japanese Backstreets. This is going to be good for so many things. So, you know, this is great. Go check out Big, Medium, Small. Super pricey. Keeping your eyes peeled for discounts. Usually when they come out with a new project pack, they offer a discount for all the other ones as well. It's a lot of money, but one thing I've found that cannot be understated is if you want good motion capture, you also need good characters. And having a poorly rigged character, having a character even with bad texturing, like all that stuff, it ends up making the mocap look like work. Like it really, having a properly rigged character is worth so much. And their characters, while super expensive, are always really great because they just are very, you know, they have Unreal versions and Cinema versions and Blender versions and all these things. And so it's just interesting. And Japanese Backstreets, I think, is going to be a really good one. They also have a Cyberpunk one coming too, which is like going to be crazy. This is really exciting. So the Unreal Animation Fellowship, which one of our Rokoko staff members attended and was selected for, Byron, killed it, I'm sure. But there was this Unreal, basically closed fellowship program, but they ended up releasing all the videos for it live to the public. So this is the Unreal team talking to you about the best workflows for motion capture. I have watched about half of the first one. We're making our new tutorial for Unreal right now. I'm trying to make it as, usually when I make these things, I put it out and I realize afterwards I've missed something. So we're trying to make it comprehensive, and this is what I'm going to be relying on. So if you want to get a jump on that, like, go check this out. This is all you need to know, in theory, about retargeting motion capture in Unreal. And so I'm excited to learn about what's in here myself. I barely know what I'm doing. Alberto will tell you, he's always, you know, like, correcting me on very simple things because Unreal is complicated. It's not my main program. I do my best to kind of translate the best workflows, but this is a great resource to find out the approved official Unreal workflows. So worth checking out, I think. Okay, and then in Rokoko news, next week we're going to be having Carson Reed on, who's going to be talking through Blender stuff. We're going to be doing Blender next week. The stream's going to be on Friday, but Carson is awesome. He is I'm always looking for real world examples of the suit being used in production in very high levels, and Carson is definitely doing great Rokoko mocap work in Blender. So we're going to be talking about all these workflows, how he gets this quality and stuff like that next week on Friday. So that pretty much wraps it up for the news. We're going to be doing this every week, and feel free to put like interesting stories or things you want highlighted in the comments of this video. Also, what I'm going to start doing is answering questions from the comments of last week's stream. So if you have questions for me, I will be going through the comments of this video next week and answering questions from the comments. I think that's the best way to do it. I've seen it on a couple others. So, you know, if I don't catch a question, you want it answered, put it in the comments down below. We're going to have a chaptered section in each stream that answers questions from the comments from last week. So that's where you should put questions. And yeah, it's going to be a blast. So without further ado, let's start talking about the new Rokoko Studio 2.4.2 update, which is another great one. Man, we have had a run of... Let me move my screen. I don't like this. Come on. I want to lean forward. We have had a run of incredible updates. And so let's go through everything in the new Rokoko 2.4.2 update. And it's a bunch of interesting, really pertinent, really exciting stuff. So yeah, autumn cleaning, you know, not spring cleaning. We did a little autumn cleaning. The highlights are bug fixes, optimizations, quality of life stuff, command API, a bunch of new things in the command API, which has to do with virtual production stuff usually. Intel-based Mac users are back able to use Rokoko Studio. For a while, it had to be an M1 Mac. Intel-based Macs can now use Rokoko Studio again. Very exciting. But yeah, let's just go through these one by one. So Intel-based Macs supported again. If you got one, feel free to open up Rokoko Studio. Character import and retargeting. So our importer now tries to recognize whether the imported character has a UE4 or a UE5 APOS and will pick the closest match to that. So you should be able to import characters that are either UE5 structured or UE4 structured in APOSes. And we're going to be putting all this, I've tested this and it's working great, but of course we'll see how it works. Oh, and sorry, face capture is now supported on imported characters that support AR kit base blend shapes. I didn't realize that had gotten snuck in, so that's really exciting too. We're gonna be playing around with that as well today. So face capture now supported on imported characters. So awesome. For exporting, new UE5 APOs available. So the reason we did this is because UE4 mannequins and UE5 mannequins have slightly... Ooh. And I'm just going to wait till I come back. I don't know why it went black. Ooh, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait. Don't know. It says it's clicking through. I don't... Oof. Okay. I don't know if that, like, pauses for everyone. Oh, man. Why is the internet so bad? It is so frustrating. But it is what it is. Sorry. Okay, I'm still there. It's just, okay, it's just for me. It's just the back end. Okay, I'm going to keep going then. But yeah, UE5 and UE4 mannequins have different proportions, so now you can choose which one to export as. Again, it's not going to fix foot sliding in Unreal Engine. That is a separate problem, but it will help. It'll make this process easier, and we're going to go through that workflow. And again, we do have a new tutorial coming. Yeah, we'll get down to, I guess these are new features, but for the command API, so this is basically what allows Rokoko Studio to talk to and be controlled by other programs. We've added, parameters to list actors and characters in the scene, in the response. There's a new live stream command to start and stop live streaming, new playback command, new pose command to get skeleton hierarchy and relations for a given actor or character. Updates to our Unreal Engine and Unity plugins have been updated and republished to respective marketplaces pending approval. So the 5.2 Unreal plugin is not up yet. It should be up in the marketplace soon. But really what command API stuff relates to is virtual production usually. It's a lot of it's having to do with virtual production. So if you want to know the best workflows for virtual production, head over to these release notes, which will be in the description below. I haven't added them yet, but they'll be down there. Virtual production support, and we have this whole page that explains how to go about doing this. So this is complicated stuff. In general, really, virtual production is a beast. It's a really shiny beast, so everyone wants to do it. But in CG, you should do what makes the most sense, not what's the shiniest. So when you're thinking about virtual production, you are taking on a whole new beast, and it's going to be very difficult and complicated. And I that sounds scary, but also I think it's like you want to go into virtual production with your eyes open. There's a lot of points of failure that are possible when you go into virtual production. Not only are you now, it's complicated enough to get your mocap live streaming. Now you're worried about your camera live streaming. Now you're worried about your environment breaking. There's so many things. So virtual production is exciting. It's great. The suit performs best on recorded mocap, not live streaming. So you have to keep all that in mind when you're starting to play with virtual production. That being said, we have a more official workflow here now, and check this out. I'll put links to this in the description below. One for the command API and one for UDP trigger messages. Honestly, most of that stuff is way over my head. Just jumping. I guess it's back. I'm so sorry, all. Ugh, very frustrating. Hopefully the internet doesn't keep going out, but I can't really control it, unfortunately. Hey, Rushboard. Okay, well, seems like it's working, so we're just going to continue onward. Sorry about the big gap in the live stream. But basically a bunch of new exciting API things. It's awesome. However, I do want to talk about the new improvements. So we've increased the clip limits in scenes to 30 minutes. Don't make a 30-minute recording. Never make a recording more than 5 minutes. I mean, it's not even about whether or not the suit can do it. It can. It can definitely go for 30 minutes. I mean, for live streaming, that's fine. Recorded mocap, though, you're dealing with an FBX file that will get so big. 30 minutes. Think about how many frames of animation that is. Let's do the I'm not going to do the calculation, but, it's 30 times 60 times 60 times 24 or something. It's a lot. Maybe that math wasn't right. But, we've increased the clip limits, but that doesn't mean you should be doing 30-minute. I always keep my mocap recordings to 5 minutes. I'd love to visit South Korea. My goal, I'm a huge StarCraft player, not to paint South Korea with the StarCraft brush, but I will be going to South Korea because I need to see a proper StarCraft tournament live. Shout out to Protoss. Okay. So one of the really exciting things, though, to talk about is that we've bumped the polygon count limit on imported characters to 300,000. So this is really exciting. We kept it to 100K initially because it was new and we didn't want to break the system, but it can easily handle 300K, which means you can import a metahuman mesh to Rokoko Studio. Do your retargeting directly in Rokoko Studio, export that out onto a metahuman, and go. You'll still have to do cleanup, but yeah, there you go. Alberto with the math there. Thank you. But yeah, really exciting. So we're going to be pulling in some 200K limit characters. The big, medium, small characters, for example, I think are about 200K, maybe 240 or something. And really exciting that we can now pull in such large polygon count characters. It's awesome. When you export with a retargeted character, the export process will be export to the skeleton mesh and animation. I think this is supposed to be of either the actor or character, if either the actor or character is visible. So basically the one that's visible is going to get exported. So we're going to go through that, but that's exciting too. And it's also possible to configure the Wi-Fi settings of the Smart Suit Pro if the sensors are in mixed bootloader states. That's not really a good sign when they're in mixed bootloader states, but it's good to be able to have more options to play with the Wi-Fi settings. Fixed issues, fixed scene loading issues, fixed some FBX stuff. We fixed a bunch of stuff, bunch of quality of life improvements. You can, again, check out the release notes for all this. It's very well composed and beautiful, and Jesper and the team killed it on our dev team, and Rokoko Studio is for IR. Alberto, I knew I liked you. But yeah, our studio team has just made some incredible improvements, and this is on top of the updates that have come in the last year. We've had now 3 kind of major updates, which have all just continued to push the envelope of how good the suit is, and it's really exciting. So that ends our news segment. We'll see how clippy that was, and when I watch that back and how bad it was dropping out. But now we are going to jump into a suit. We're going to record some motion capture. Hey, Alberto, did you see this too? Have you checked this out? This is the Animation Fellowship. This is like they released a... Were you in this? I don't know. Maybe you were in this. I forget if Byron said. But they released a... This is really great. I'll go back to this. This Unreal If you want to know how to use Unreal for mocap, basically this is where you should start now. This is them telling you about how it should be done in Unreal. This is from Epic. And so I, have my workflows, and we try to give you the best workflows that we think. But again, this is a great place to start. It's going to give you an overview on everything. This is where I'm watching. This is my next couple days is like watching these and following along. So super cool. I'm very excited to see what they have to say, especially about control rigs and mocap editing, because that's always been the part of Unreal that still lags behind. In my opinion, Unreal is so amazing, but for mocap, it's just rough a little bit still, I find. And especially when it comes to Maya, which just still seems to be perfect. I'm going to go not on that page, but we're going to Reddit, and this is kind of news, I don't know, but this is, I've been trying for years now to get a cogent explanation of why Maya seems to be better than all the other retargeting programs. It's something I say because I have felt that when I've tried to do retargeting in all these programs, and unlike a lot of other people who use mocap, because of what I do, I am in all of these programs trying to find the best workflows, and I'm a generalist, so I'm out there on YouTube trying to find tutorials just like the rest of us, right? It's very frustrating when I go to find a tutorial because I don't know how to do something, and one of my old tutorials pops up, and I'm like, it's the blind leading the blind. But why is Maya better? Because it is. And I ran up against this, trying to really understand retargeting in Unreal and the best workflow for doing it. Because one thing that kills me about Unreal retargeting is, and all the programs, Blender 2, Cinema 4D, they all suffer from foot sliding. It's really the thing that is really hard to fix. And the reason you have foot sliding, and the way that I find it to be the most annoying, is like, if you touch your toes, for example, if you bend over, the way that retargeting works in most programs is it's taking the data from your legs and the location of your hip, and it's putting that data, which in Rokoko Studio, the foot contact is perfect, the feet are not sliding, it's great. It's perfect. On the avatar in Rokoko Studio, it's perfect. When you export out that mocap, it gets exported on that avatar, which has certain proportions that you input on the actor profile, right? You put in your height, and the avatar is a certain size. Its legs are a certain size. Your character, their legs, their upper thigh, their calf, and their hip, they're different sizes. So when you retarget something like bending over to touch your toes, you get this weird thing where the feet actually move up. They aren't static and locked in on the floor. Or if you do something like this and you move your hips, your feet, they go like this, they move. And in Maya, that does not happen. And I went down this rabbit hole, and I finally decided to ask Reddit, which I should have done years ago, and I got some answers for this. And essentially, what people were saying, I mean, take this with a grain of salt, obviously, because it's Reddit, but they're, they seemed nice, and it made sense. It seemed to confirm what I felt in my heart of hearts. But essentially, Maya bought this program Motion Builder. Now, Motion Builder is still probably, it's a motion capture focused program. It's probably the best program for motion capture. Most people don't use it because it's so niche. And what Maya did is they bought the program. It still exists, but they hacked out all the mocap stuff and they shoved it into Maya. And a lot of Motion Builder people say that it was a very clumsy implementation of the Motion Builder stuff into Maya. For me, it's always been amazing. But the reason Maya bought Motion Builder is because it basically has all this special sauce and of what it's doing in the back end. Part of that is it is doing it's got something called the action space, which is doing an active world scaling based on the difference between the two models. So that's why that's one part of it. Another part of it is in the human IK system, which again is this Motion Builder backend of how the mocap works. It's called the human IK system. It also has some really great assumptions about how bipedal entities move, joint limitations, things like that. Then they also have some dynamic foot stuff. Basically, there is a reason that Maya is so good at retargeting, and there is a reason that these other programs aren't, and that is Maya. Basically, it has this special sauce that is just better. Like, that's it. That's the short answer, right? Basically, it's just better for a variety of reasons, of complicated reasons. It was worth buying this company, locking up all their IP, integrating it into Maya. It's because it was that good. And my guess is that stuff is so complicated to do that the other programs, mocap is still so niche that it hasn't made sense for the other programs to dig deep enough to build these really tools that are as good as Maya. And for that reason, Rushboard Technologies, Maya, if you're using, the other thing that I hear a lot for Unreal and retargeting is like, you aren't doing mocap that often, so it's like fine, and you will. You can fix problems like foot sliding in Unreal. Like there's something called speed planting, which is this thing where you generate basically animation graphs for the speed of your feet, and then you say under a certain speed it means my feet aren't moving, so lock them in place. You can't do that en masse. And when you end up buying a suit, or when you even get comfortable with motion capture, you actually end up using mocap a lot. Like, mocap is awesome because you get these custom characters, right? So to do that on a larger scale, when you end up doing mocap a lot, like, it's pretty worthwhile to get into Maya or Motion Builder. You don't have to, but basically, without using Maya or Motion Builder, you are confronted with a massive problem of this foot sliding, which is basically unfixable at a large scale. And by that I mean for each individual animation, I could fix it. Is it worth my time? No. The calculus seems like no for me. So, I don't know. There's a bit of a rant, but, Unreal is amazing, but I think it's really important for people to understand that, like, when you see you see foot sliding on characters in Unreal from Rokoko mocap, like, check the Rokoko mocap. The Rokoko mocap is perfect. It's not perfect, but is not suffering from those problems. Those are retargeting issues that don't exist in Maya. So people can get kind of a bad impression of Rokoko mocap or other mocap. But it's like retargeting. Retargeting is such a separate thing from getting the mocap. We've made getting the mocap really easy, but that doesn't mean that we've made retargeting easy. That's on the programs, and again, we've done our best to put out so much content on retargeting because we understand that it's an information desert out there. But I mean, that's what you end up doing, plot coalition. Like, that's fine. And if you're willing to live with having your ground just be like a rocky ground where it doesn't really matter if foot contact is like sliding or not because it's like hidden, like that's the smart way to do it. You work within the limitations of the tool. You work within the limitations of the Rokoko tool, but then you have to also work within the limitations of Unreal. And so we're going to go through Unreal today. That's what we're going to be working in, but I will never... You know, I'm such a dummy. So this is like also partially just me not knowing everything in CG. But it doesn't seem like it's possible to get as good retargeting in Unreal as it is in Maya right now. And that's just like the case. Something happening in the chat. I don't know what. Maya's ADN. What does ADN mean, Alberto? While Alberto answers that, let's make some mocap, right? Let's get into it. Let's make some motion capture, but more importantly, I don't even really care about making mocap. We're gonna make mocap because it's fun, but we want to get into Unreal retargeting. That's gonna be what we're doing today. So, but here we go. Let's make some motion capture. So as always, you know, I've got two computers here set up. I've got one computer that is handling my live streaming. You saw how unreliable the Wi-Fi is for the internet connection. That's why I have a separate computer sitting here that I'm porting the visuals in to OBS. But this computer is offline. It's connected to an offline router in the room. That's the best way to get mocap. If I wasn't live streaming, I would not be using two computers, obviously. I'd just take my one computer and I would put it on the offline network. I just wouldn't have internet access while I was making mocap. And that's because Wi-Fi is so important to Rokoko motion capture. A clean, strong Wi-Fi signal where, you know, the router's right in the room. It is fixed, Alberto, and it's amazing. It's great. It's so much easier to do retargeting. Yeah. Yes, the Maya's DNA is the GOAT for animation. It just is, until someone else can supplant them. But it's not going to happen anytime soon because CG studios make such an investment in workflows that it takes years to wean yourself off of a program that works. They can't just switch to Blender. They have, like, a big AAA studio. They have projects in the work for Maya. So if they wanted to move away from Maya, they sacrificed 3 years of projects getting their system back up to date, which is a calculus most studios can't do. It doesn't make sense monetarily when you can just stick with Maya for all of its faults because it's so good. So, yeah. I noticed your company trimmed the fat recently for compatible routers. Oh, did we? I didn't see that. But yeah, I use a, what is mine? Hold on. Yeah, I use the Asus. I use an Asus, the 3000, something 3000. And I love it. Okay, let's get into some suit. Let's put on a mocap suit, y'all. Let's do it. Let's get it. So we're going to put on a suit and we're going to record some facial motion capture. We're going to test out all the new features. So today I'm putting on my suit sitting down, which is normally how I do it when I'm alone. Actually, I put it on standing up a lot. It's actually not that tough. You know, I'm wearing it over shorts. But you can put a suit over clothes. It's just not as comfortable, I find. It's not really that the suit won't fit clothes, it's that clothes tend to bunch up when you put a skin-tight suit on them, and just makes it kind of annoying. It just looks weird. But you can totally do it, which is good. Again, because, occlusion is not a problem with Rokoko mocap. So let's get my headband on. You can tell how quick it was to hop in my suit. You know, I got no cameras to worry about and set up or whatever. Suit just goes on. No beanie today. Gloves on. Plug in my gloves. I always you gotta plug in your smart gloves before you power on the suit, which I'm just gonna power on using a generic battery pack. Boom. Another thing we gotta do, we gotta make sure to do, we gotta turn off that background blur. Make sure we get a nice clean image. There we go, gloves on. Plug in our suit. Green lights. Hello. Let's add an actor profile. One thing that I'll say about actor profiles is because they can be complicated to do the measurements properly, generally I always recommend people just starting by importing their height. I've changed that now. I now recommend that people import their height, but then also go in and do arm span, and also go in and do hand length and width. I think those are easy enough to measure that I'm confident telling people that they should do them when they start. So, it's middle finger tip to tip for arm span. Go put that in, measure your hand width and length, because those are worth doing. So we're gonna do a straight pose. Back once again. And you see, as soon as I take so one thing that is, so important for Rokoko motion capture is having your feet on the ground. Rokoko doesn't like it when your feet aren't off the ground, and that's because we're doing a lot of back-end stuff to make everything look good based on knowing when your feet are on the ground. So if I lift up my feet on a chair, not good. But if I keep my feet planted, it's fine. So, you always you try to act to the limitations of the suit. If I lie down, I try to keep my feet on the ground, just so it knows what's going on. So let's record. We're gonna record 2 animations. One that's just me as like a running around and just doing a demo, and then another one with face capture, because I want to show off the new face rig, which is shipping in the next week, I think. Very exciting. First ones are going out. I've seen all this is still a prototype, but they're all nice and proper and branded, and they look great. They're going out next week, so I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this is really freaking crazy. Okay. But let's record some mocap. So here, I want to also, let's turn this a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to do another calibration because nothing's wrong yet, but when I was lifting up my feet, I like to just be centered in the space that I'm going to be performing in. So let's do another cal. My dog is bocce there. Yeah, Bocce, you're there, huh? Maybe we'll turn it a little bit more. Okay. Let's do a calibration. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. And what's also cool is you can go and you can, under studio settings, have a recording countdown as well. So that means I have 3 seconds to get into place, which is nice. So here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, pup. Yeah, I got a dog. Yeah. I think that'll be pretty good. Let's check it out. Man, Rokoko data is just looking so good out the box these days. Got a puppy. So these are things that would be made better by a coil. Those actions, right? Looking pretty darn good. Let's go back. Let's do one more. Can I get a recommendation, please? For some mocap. You're more of a 1 second cal kind of guy, playing it fast and loose, Luke. It's craziness. Give me anything. Give me something like usable in a, that you would have in a short film or a game, like something that's like production-y. Let's try and make. We're not gonna make anything today, but let's try and do a realistic thing. It could be, I don't know. It's always just like shooting someone. Eating a sandwich. So yeah, we can, but if you, well, this looks pretty good, but like eating a sandwich is something that would always require manual editing. Okay, I'm a chef, and I'm tasting my dish. How about that? And like that. So I need a prop. Okay, here we go. Chef motion capture. I don't think we need a calibration. Let's get it. Not my best performance. Also something that would always require cleanup again, because anytime you're messing with digital, you can see how off my hand is, which is all to be expected, right? These are things that the Coil Pro is going to solve. But you would have to do some retargeting. You can see, you got to get the finger up to the hand, but look at that emotion. Look at that. Okay, kneeling down and inspecting the ground. Let's do that too. Let's do that too. Okay, I like that. That's going to be a good one. Let's do a cow. Okay, here we go. So that's like kneeling down, picking up a grenade, or like an alien artifact kind of vibe. Fix some foot contact. You can see messy ass foot contact there. That mocap looks good. A very explosive Pokemon. Okay. Looking great. Last thing we're going to do is record a little facial mocap. The way that we do this is I got an iPhone right here. I've got to be on the same Wi-Fi network as my mocap. So which I am. New head rig. Oof. This thing's awesome. It's got a clamp in the back. Tighten it down. So I'm gonna throw it on. The proper ones are gonna have Velcro in the back, basically, that your head sensor will attach to. This one doesn't. So what I do is I kind of just put it on the back, and I really clamp this sucker down because I don't want it to move. And I'm gonna throw in my iPhone. So we are obviously using, and am I on the same Wi-Fi network? I might not be. I think it's swapped. You switch over to a real. Yep. Hold on. Gotta get on the right Wi-Fi. But we're going to be recording some Rokoko motion capture, right? This is so the nice thing about this is that it goes into Rokoko Studio. It's all synced up properly. It all looks good. And of course, I'm going to run into problems. Okay, there it goes. So we right-click, connect, hit accept, drag in the face cap. So there we go. Follow. We got some facial motion capture. So we're gonna do a little recording, and then I'm going to be retargeting a character to the recorded animation, which we could do live too, but because I got this 2-computer setup, it's a little bit messy. I don't think I have a character with the right blend shapes on that computer, so we're gonna open it up on the basically we're not going to retarget live, but you could. But let's go. I'm going to do another calibration because when I put on the head rig, I kind of tweaked where the head sensor was. Anytime a sensor moves, you want to do a new calibration. Ooh, it's an instant cal for this, so I gotta. There we go. So we're gonna do some basic movements, and then I'll talk a little bit. So let's record. I'll record here. There's a command API buttons on the app, so I actually can control everything right from my phone, which is actually really cool. Here we go. Oh, had a burp. Sorry, didn't come out. Hiccup or something. Okay. Okay. So, here we go. The new Rokoko head rig. Making some mocap, streaming it into Rokoko Studio to a character. Amazing. This thing is working great, and of course, because it's super lightweight, it's on my head, I can do things like this. And never worry about losing my iPhone, never worry about losing tracking. Oh, come on. It's, mwah, mwah. Oh yeah. Okay. So, that's it. Basically for the mocap portion of our entertainment this evening. I might have strapped it on a little bit too hard there. Got a little red mark. Yep. Got a little too enthusiastic. Okay. But man, let's play this back. Ah, so awesome. And right, again, so you can use the head rig for Rokoko-based motion capture, but you could also use it for like MetaHuman Animator or whatever, right? It doesn't have to be a Rokoko. It's just holding an iPhone. So the head rig is like just the best because it doesn't even have anything to do with Rokoko. It's just like, it's just the best head rig. So everyone should grab a head rig. Chef's kiss. Okay. So we are going to... See, now I'm going to join. This is why Cloud Rokoko Studio is so cool. Internet connection reestablished. This is basically going to upload all the data that we just got because I am actually opening this up on another computer. So we're going to jump to the main computer. And we are going to make me very small. And we are going to flip me because I like it to be looking in to the screen. And we're going to shut down Rokoko Studio on that computer. We're going to open it up on this one. And guess what? That scene is all going to be on our other computer. So that's the advantage, right, of being able to hop, save everything to the cloud. Before there was an offline mode, it was not an advantage, so because it was very limiting. But now that there's an offline mode, I hop offline, record the mocap, hop back online, and everything gets saved in the cloud, safe, nice. Don't have to worry about it. Ugh. Studio update. Let's load it up. Let's load it up. Okay, here we go. Now it's gonna get fun. We're gonna be making. Let's get making. So it didn't finish uploading. Yeah, it was too quick. Let's jump back. Make sure it is. Oh, so nice that the nice people over at Reddit helped fix that confusion. We're just gonna wait for a sec while this all works. And in the meantime, let's open up a little Unreal, baby. So this is Unreal 5.1. For all the retargeting stuff that we're doing, 5.2 and 5.3 should have pretty much the same workflows. I'm in 5.1 because our Rokoko plugin for live streaming is currently only working for 5.1. But again, all this should be applicable to 5.2 or 5.3. Shouldn't really matter. Let's sign in. I want to listen to the music too. Syncing items. Loading. Just nice and ambient vibes. Hey everyone. Today we're listening to ambient vibes and making motion capture. Stick around. It's gonna be fun. A little ASMR for y'all. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at how good this looks. So, where do we start? Let's choose some fun. Ooh, I like this. Actually, no. We're gonna clean up the demo where I was jumping around and I said there was like gross. Well, this one looked really good. But let's move my thing. Okay, so down here, this is a standard part of Rokoko motion capture. It's the foot contact cleanup portion. Now, this looked pretty damn good on its own already, right? Like this is fine. I could probably, put this on a character, whatever. I don't show the feet, like it's fine. However, it takes me 30 seconds to go in and clean up things like this. Look at the left foot here. See that stutter? It gets stuck. So what's happening if we look down here on the timeline is Rokoko Studio thinks incorrectly that my foot was on the ground. When we know my foot was stepping. It was not on the ground. So we get this shit, excuse me, get this grossness. What happens if we just delete this? Perfect. So it's really, I usually go through and if I need to do cleanup, which I don't need to do if it's an Instagram video and I don't really give a shit, but a pretty reliable thing to go in and do is like go in and definitely delete all these little bitties. Usually these little things, like this little gap even, like I'm not going to correct this, but if I wanted to, you know, my foot doesn't actually lift up there. So we didn't need that little gappy. And look at this. Look at how good this looks. Look at. What about this? Beautiful. That's no cleanup. That's raw, baby. It's all real time. Oh, and I'm just good at acrobatics. Look at that. Come on. Looks great. So let's put some poly import limit to the test. So we're gonna browse for an FBX file, and one file. You know, I have a lot of big, medium, small. I have too many, but for big, medium, small, they have these great characters, and usually these characters even come in like with Mixamo rigs. So Rokoko Studio can't just import any character to retarget to. There are some technical requirements. It has to have human IK naming, which Mixamo is actually human IK naming as well. UE mannequin naming or AccuRig naming. It's got to be in a T pose or an A pose. Poly limit is 300K now, but you can't go above that. But if we go up and which one is which? Hold on. Let's go. Soldier is D4, so let's go find Apocalypse, D4. I've actually never even tried to import this guy before, D4, Mixamo. Might throw an error, because it might not be in a T-pose, yeah. So I would have to upload this into Mixamo, and then download it, re-download it as a T-pose. But let's go find one of their other characters. So in the Astronova, if we go to the Mixamo characters in Astronova, Pilot Sheriff, Mixamo. Freezing is a good sign here. It's like, I'm thinking, and look at this. How many polys is this guy? This guy is over 100K polys. There we go. Retargeted to custom character. Looks freaking amazing. But you can see some of these foot sliding issues. Like, look at here. Here. We're gonna show off the difference in these foot slideys for everyone. So let's go grab our guy. I'm gonna move him slightly. I'm gonna put him down a little bit. And look at what's happening here. So this is the motion capture. The motion capture data is perfect. I mean, really, it's amazing. It looks great. But look at so you can see, like, the feet are translating. They're sliding. They aren't. This is actually, I guess, this character is very close proportions to me, because it's actually not bad at all. But normally, and I can see it. Like, this is like, I can see it because I'm really trained to see it. But look at this. Oh, this actually, hold on, wait, the right foot should be down. But look at this foot. Oh, no, I don't know. I whenever I try and show things that are like, let me show you something that how bad this is, it always, like, it works, which is always frustrating. But it's basically there's problems because it's just something that only Maya is going to be able to solve for retargeting. Now, that being said, this looks almost perfect right out the bat. And if there are things I needed to fix, let's say there's clipping, which actually, like, again, this is like really classy. This is really clean mocap. But right here, you know, I'm wearing an astronaut suit. right? So there's a little clipping, and this is normally things that you would have to, you are not stupid. Come on. You're here. Can't be too stupid because you're here. But we got a little clipping. If we want to fix this, we can actually do some minor adjustments on retargeting. Like I could pop out the arms a little bit. I could change. One thing that I really like doing actually is adjusting the shoulders. A lot of times the shoulders are, you get these raised shoulders. So I really like being able to just lower those collarbones down, right? That's kind of what you normally get, is like this vibe. Natural shoulders, baby. And you can see what's really cool is lowering the shoulders. It's not affecting the orientation of the arms. The arms are maintaining. They're up and down, right? But this, you are rotating the collarbone down, so you'd think the whole arm would rotate into the leg, but it's not, and that's just really cool. So this is always a little bit more natural. You put those shoulders a little bit down. Again, this is a really good model, so you don't really need it, but man, looks so good. So that's really cool. 300K poly limit. Boom. Crash through that ceiling. Let's go, and I'm gonna delete this guy. And we are going to upload somebody who has blend shapes. And I haven't tested this yet, actually, because I didn't really realize that this was doable. I was focused on the poly limit, but let's go grab someone with some blendies. Ooh, yeah. Wow, it worked. Shocked. Oh, look at how freaking cool this is. Oh. Oh. Anyone see this lip movement? Blend shape. Retargeting within Rokoko Studio. Come on. How freaking awesome is that? You know what? Let's grab another dude. Let's grab another dude. So you can see usually when a character has SK in the name, it stands for skeletal mesh, which usually means it was made for Unreal, which means there's a pretty good chance you'll be able to import it into Rokoko Studio. Not always, right? It really is case by case on a model basis, but in theory, it should just kind of pop in. Anything that has an Unreal skeleton. So this file has got to be huge because it's got all the blend shapes of the character in it. I know, I missed it too, Luke. I don't know how I missed that. It didn't get a lot of, I don't know. I didn't even realize that was happening. Which means you can now do VTubing directly in here, which is actually incredible because there's so little lag. Like if you just wanted a talking head VTubing, I would actually, there's an argument to be made that you should do it within Rokoko Studio now. And then pipe out this video to OBS and use this as your character because there's so little lag for this retargeting. It's really incredible. She is not wanting to be deleted because she's got so many poses. I don't really have the patience to wait here and let it finish. Usually what I do at this point is I end the program process. It usually doesn't help anything, but we're gonna do it. Usually it just means that I'm gonna have to do it again, but sometimes it fixes it. Nuke it from orbit, baby. No patience. I got no patience. And so, again, we are going to be taking a look at this retargeting for the facial motion capture. And then we're going to be going through the new Unreal export retargeting workflow. That is very exciting. But we got to let Rokoko Studio do its thing first. See, this is, I probably just added time for myself. Actually, sometimes I'll quit again, then it will start working. I try to play the role of an average impatient customer because that's what I am at the company. And so when I'm testing things, usually it's like, oh no, internet connection lost. Don't want to go through that again. Which is just, I don't want, boop. This is not how you should do it. You should definitely just let it sit. But live streaming is the best time to really try and break a program, I find. Yeah, I should just let it do its thing, unfortunately. Okay, in the meantime, let's talk about getting ready for retargeting. So the way that Rokoko retargeting works for Unreal now is that you need to have the mannequins, the Unreal mannequins, in your project. So you do not just import the mocap into Unreal Engine. You need to import the mocap into Unreal Engine onto an Unreal 4 mannequin. And although we offer the Unreal 5 export, I believe you still have to use an Unreal 4 mannequin. I'm almost positive about that. We're gonna have to let it think for a little bit. Oh, I have other mocap. Maybe we could just go through that process. But the way that I get the mannequins into a new project, right, is I start a new project, and then I go to add feature or content pack, and I add the third person content pack. Yeah. Right. I don't like how it comes in with all this extra crap. I can't really understand why there isn't just a mannequin content pack, but it's because mocap is so niche. But anyway, if you add this content pack, you get this. This is, what is this? You get both of them. You should get both of them. So Unreal 4 mannequin. No, see, this is, I think this is mobile. Nope. Yeah, no. Never mind. That's right. So you get the Unreal 4 mannequin, and then you get the Unreal 5 mannequin. And of course, they have slightly different poses, which is a little bit annoying. But what's cool is that they come in with control rigs. So I really haven't dug into this enough still. But what's nice is that when you do mocap editing, what you really want is to be doing editing on a control rig. You can see right here, and that's because control rigs, well, this one is not, is this not an IK control rig? Interesting. It's not an active one. Again, I barely know what I'm doing in Unreal. But essentially, it is I know it is an IK control rig. And that means that there's going to be a way to do mocap cleaning easily on the mannequins. But that does not fix your problem, which is you need to do mocap animating on your character. And metahumans come in with a control rig, which is nice, but most of the characters don't. And that is where another point that Maya really shines. Maya, it is so easy to generate a control rig, an IK control rig. It's crazy easy. Can I remove? Okay. And it's really not easy in Unreal. Yes, we're gonna have a full, basically, we're gonna have a full Unreal tutorial coming out soon. Sorry for the quiet. I'm just I think this one has a facial AR kit too. Sick. Look at this, and look at this. Okay, this is what I would do right off the bat. Come on, come on. Let's adjust these shoulders. Those shoulders way too high. Let's shift them forward a little bit. Let's change the arms a little bit. And look at that. We already got a character that's so much better. And look at this. It's fucking crazy. This is banana balls. Look at this. AR kit facial mocap retargeting. Absolutely plot coalition. Absolutely. So much of it is that starting pose. And if you just make that starting pose so the rest of the mocap is good, then that's fine. But what I do find happens a lot is that if you are interacting with digital objects, mocap basically, I mean, you work to the limitations of the tool, right? And in Unreal, yeah, you can do these kind of global shifts. And if you have a control rig, it should be pretty easy to do proper AAA level mocap editing in Unreal. But the problem is, so many characters are not metahumans, are not characters that come with control rigs, at least for me. And when you and so I'm always trying to do is design tutorials that are gonna try to cover edge cases, like not best case scenario. Best case scenario, you already have a control rig, bake to control rig, edit the mocap, like it's easy. But most characters don't. And even if you do, you still have that foot contact sliding problem, which is so annoying to me. Oh my god, but this is just like awesome. And look, we can even, I want to adjust the look how good this looks, man. It's just crazy. You can, but that's a lot of work. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just a lot. And that's assuming that they have similar proportions, right? Like, what if you have an alien? Like, you can adapt the control rig. What I was thinking is you would just do the mocap editing on the mannequin and then make changes as needed. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's go through and do it. And Alberto, throw out things I'm getting wrong, because I'm sure that there are many. But that is so freaking cool. You know, face mocap retargeting within Rokoko Studio. Blowing my mind. Ugh. Huh. Yeah, making an FK is quick. Sure, I mean, you don't even need a controller. You can bake to the bones and edit them individually in Sequencer. You don't even need a control rig for that. But if you're doing that, again, it's like... Okay, so let's go through and let's actually do this workflow. So I'm going to remove this guy from the scene. This might cause a whole lagging problem again. But we're going to do it because... I know. The control rig looks so cool on a moving character. You can Haitian JG. You can upload a metahuman. So that means that you can export directly out of Rokoko Studio on the metahuman, load it into Unreal, and then you just have to add the animation in Sequencer because it will automatically work. This is a bug we need to fix. Clearly. Asian shady. No, but it doesn't. Yeah, it comes in parts, but you take the skeleton, so it doesn't look like a metahuman in Studio. It looks like a weird headless thing. But the important, the head is separate. But the important thing is you can export quickly onto a metahuman skeleton. There's honestly better ways to kind of set it up, I think, which is using the IK retargeter, because then you have access to the IK retargeter, and then you have a more... I think that's a better workflow, but you absolutely can import and again, for yeah. Yeah. I'm still figuring out exactly what the best workflow is. Yes. It is, but I don't think that our Unreal 5 skeleton, like the UE5 export from Rokoko Studio, I haven't tested this, so maybe it will. Let's add a metahuman in the meantime, so we have that to play with too. Also, Alberto, can you tell? Guess who's rocking a 4090 now? No more Unreal problems. Those disappeared pretty quick. Unfortunately, it's not necessary, but it's so nice. Oh my god. It's just like, it works. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so hot. but it's great. It was a good decision. You don't need to, but it just, man, with metahumans, it's like, it's tough. Even on the 3, it shouldn't, but it is. Okay, here we go. I only bring it up because every time I normally try and use Unreal during a stream, it crashes my entire system, and it's just nice that now it doesn't do that. It, like, won't crash, which is very, very nice. Okay, sorry for the wait, everyone, but we got the metahuman up and loaded now. We're going to open it up, do a little normal things that we do to a metahuman. Oop. When we import it, oop. We go to the LOD sync. Let's make the forced LOD 0 so we don't get weird flickering stuff. Our nice metahuman. looks so good. Okay. Syncing. I was rocking a 3080. I was working a 2080. A 2080. So I went from 8 cores of VRAM to 16. Or 8 gigs of VRAM to 16. So I effectively doubled. Because it's because I work on laptops, which is crazy. So it's a 4090 laptop, but it's because I move around so much. But so it's not 24 gigs of VRAM, but 16 just kills it. So if you have a desktop, I mean, I didn't have a desktop 3090. A desktop 3090 is the same amount of power as what I'm rocking, I think. Maybe it's 12 gigs, I forget. But it still makes such a massive difference. Whoa, what's going on with my head? As my whole system breaks down. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we're finally back, everyone. So we've done cleanup on our mocap, and now we want to export out to Unreal. How are we going to do this? So I've opened up UE mocap, and we are going to go to override skeleton mesh. And we are going to select Unreal Engine 4. Yeah, so we don't have, I don't know where this Unreal Engine 5, there is no Unreal Engine 5 export option. There's only Unreal Engine 4. So that is still coming. Totally. Yes, Rushboard. In Unreal, use the pre-made retargeter to... That's interesting. You're going to have to guide me through that, Alberto. But we need to export with a body mesh, Unreal Engine 4 preset, and we're going to be exporting to the desktop. Let's export. Yeah, I know about the skeleton compatibility stuff. The UE4 to 5 thing is frustrating, but it is, I think, just I don't know, there's a limitation there for whatever reason. We've exported our mocap. Now what are we going to do? Let's make a new folder. Let's call it mocap. And let's import our export from Rokoko Studio. So again, Rokoko Studio, UE4, export. Here we go, open. This is the part that's important. We need to go and we need to select the SK mannequin skeleton. Under advanced, we got to use T0 as ref pose. We obviously want the animations. Import animations. Import all. Looking pretty freaking good. Snap to nearest frame. Look at this. Isn't this freaking awesome? Look, it looks perfect. Fingers all look good. Yeah, this is a huge thing. It's taken us a really long time to get here, but it's all working now, and look at that. It just freaking looks perfect. Okay, so this is how you get mocap onto your mannequin. So how do I get this mocap onto my character now? Well, I don't know about the automatic retargeter. Yeah, part of the problem... Let's go to the retargeter. And we are going to retarget, oh great, from the UE4 mannequin. Yeah, which doesn't exist. Okay, now it does exist, so here we go. So here's basically the, if we jump into the IK rig that's pre-built for your characters. No, the Rokoko is done with the Smart Suit Pro 2 and Smart Gloves. We go and open up the IK retargeter. And say we want to put it on the UE5 skeleton. So this works really well. See, but no, it's not. Yeah, so we got some finger problems. And that's because, like, Rokoko Studio, we're not utilizing all of these bones. So there aren't... So I think what you basically have to do... Yeah, remove the metacarpals. Maybe remove the clavicle, too. You're going to have to go in and do some work here. And what I would probably do is go in to the rig itself. See all these metacarpal bones. We need to go in and kill all of these. Like the twist bones, well, we'll try to not. Okay, let's not kill them yet. Okay, we're just looking for metacarpal. Yeah, look, right ring metacarpal is set to the right twist bone. So there's just some funkiness. That fixed the fingers. Ish. But instead, let's go and let's actually change the IK rig asset to the metahuman, which again comes with it. So you can see, like, you can't see the whole metahuman body, but it's actually doing it. Okay. So this is like perfect. God, it's working so well. Export selected animations. Let's export this animation. Now look what we can do. Let's go create a new level sequence. Let's go grab our meta. We got a metahuman. Let's add the metahuman to sequencer. Let's kill the control rig on the body. I don't know if actually I need to kill the control rig on the body. Let's add the animation. What is it called? Mocap? Yeah, so we gotta kill the control rig. Same thing with the fingers. We got finger problems, so let's go back. Let's fix those fingies. See, it's like annoying because you can't really tell. Yep, metacarpal. Look at how effed up these all are. Wow, this is even easier than I thought it was. I wasn't even trying it this way before. Let's now let's export this again. Sequencer, kill this animation. Love this hack of double clicking the animation and it expands out to the size of the animation. But do I have to add? Alberto. The wizard. I think I need to... Oh, so great. Where do you add it? Oh, yeah, there we go. But is this IK? Thank you. Just learning right now. Just learning from Alberto. FK, IK, ARM switch. So, oh, so I need to enable these. Oh shit! Here we go. Yes. Oh my God, Alberto, this is awesome. So if we wanted to edit this hand, oh, so great. It's very difficult to learn how to do this stuff. Or maybe it's not, and I'm just bad at it. But man, I wish it was just like, why isn't this on the front page of like Epic on the retargeting thing? This is so easy. I mean, it's complicated, but it's also easy. It's like a lot easier than it would have been. This is incredible. Now, well, this is really great for anything that has a control rig. But I want to know how you do the adaptive stuff. 1000%. Just thinking through all the things this opens up. Oh, good tip. Unreal Engine 5 character creation animation and cinematics by Henrik Venter. Alberto. Thank you, Alberto, saving the entire community. Well, this is awesome for metahumans and for anything that already has a control rig, which a lot of characters in the marketplace do. And you can build your own control rig, and it's not that annoying to do. Woody has a good tutorial on it on YouTube I saw. God, that is so freaking awesome. Unreal tutorial coming very shortly. Okay. So let's say now, instead of this, so we've shown basically how you get a Unreal animation, or Rokoko animation into Unreal on the Unreal. You have to import it onto the UE4 skeleton, but as soon as you do, you know, the characters will have these built-in control rigs. So you just need to go to a retargeter and retarget to the appropriate thing. And you can do that in a GIF, pretty much. And it looks pretty much perfect, but you need to fix the metacarpal chain mapping. So now what if I've got another character? So I've got let's go grab a character. And again, this is going to be generous in that it's a character in an A pose, but you could always export. Yeah, God. So great. There's so many different ways to do it now that really makes it easy. Let's grab this cyberpunk street boy. Add him into the mix. Cool. That's awesome, plot. Clean workflows from the book. Gonna be trying that out for sure. Okay, so now we've got a character. And this character doesn't have a control rig, although it says it's just compatible with SK mannequin physics asset, UE4 mannequin skeleton. So actually, if we use the UE4 mannequin skeleton, can we just, for this character... Oh, UE4 mannequin skeleton. Okay, so by default it won't see the... So it's saying UE4 mannequin skeleton, but that doesn't mean... But... And it might be, but it clearly isn't by default associating itself with UE4 mannequin skeleton assets. Now, possibly, we go to the skeletal mesh, and we open up the skeleton, we go to asset, window, we go to asset details, and there's this compatible skeletons element we can add. And if we add in the compatible skeleton and we say this is compatible with the UE4 skeleton, wow. Okay, that does just work like that. So great. This is incredible. Okay, so in this case, right? Yeah. I bet there is a way to generate a proper control rig, though, and I just don't know what it is. Back, Alberto, we need you. How do I generate an automatic control rig for this? It's a UE4 mannequin compatible skeleton. UE4. God, that looks good. Hmm. Hmm. There must be a way, though. Yeah. Alberto, do you think that that is something that is... It's always tough because with our tutorials, it's always hard to know what to include and what not to. Yeah, I did. Yeah. We throw the metahuman one on there. It gets all... I mean, it works. Or, you know. Yeah, we had to bake it onto the... Still, this is so fucking cool. And UE5 skeletons will be standard shortly enough. I mean, they already are. So this is really a disappearing problem. But wait, hold on. No, that doesn't help. You could... Okay, hold on. Okay, so can I just do this? No, it doesn't work like that. Oh, I see what you mean. So actually get the data. Onto a UE. It did change the proportions of him. But did it change them in a way that is meaningfully different? I mean... No. Yeah, sure. Let's try it. Alberto, I'll follow you into the depths of hell. Yeah. What's the hack? Let's try it. Why not? I gotta jump in a second anyway. The UE4... Wait, I thought there wasn't a UE4 control rig. Oh. The IK rig, you mean? This might be painful for people to watch. Is it a skeletal mesh, maybe? Oh, I gotta get the UE4 control rig, which I'm sure that there is. Yeah. Okay. But then you go in and you... What do? You, it was made for 426. Yeah. Yeah, it might be too much. But we'll get back to it, and I might hit you up, Alberto, for that, because that's the annoying part. It's always like, do we put hacky stuff in the official tutorials or not? Especially if, like, it's not going to be... If it's going to be more confusing. Yeah, I don't know. But I assume you go into 4.2, the control rig, and you just reset it to be the other skeleton or something. Alberto. The goat. Oh, it's a trick? It's like a weird thing. Right. The proportions get all messed up, of course. Definitely not better, but man, it's like you can tell. I mean, I have no... It's such a black box to me. And I'm the one doing the tutorials. You know? You change it, and then you compile it, and you change it back, probably. Yeah, you can, Warren. But we're trying to get... Like, that's... Yeah, totally. But we're trying to add a... This is a UE4 compatible character. And there's no pre-built... Well, there is a pre-built UE4. Yeah, disconnect and connect it back. Yeah, you force it. Interesting. I'm going to try that. We might include that as an addendum. Man, Alberto. Amazing. So smart. Just brilliant. Thank you. So good. Okay, well, I actually do have to jump, so we're going to leave it there. But, you know, especially it's a learning process, and a much changed now workflow will be published for all this stuff. I know. We need to. That's a whole other thing. Okay, we're going to cruise it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. This was awesome. Alberto, you are incredible. You're the GOAT, man. It's amazing the amount of knowledge you have about these things that are very confusing to me. Coming from still trying to figure out Unreal. It's such an ongoing process. learning. I don't know if I can. I'm sorry. I know, Alberto, and that's what I always tell people too when people are like, thank you. It's like, I know everything I've ever learned from the community, and that's why it's like, that's why I love CG. It's really why I love generalist CG, because we all learn from people, that random tutorials we find that, yeah, so many people out there, and you're you. Anyway, thank you. This is a great stream. I cannot wait to get these tutorials out. Freaking looks awesome. What I still is unfortunate, I mean, this looks really good. This looks way better than the retargeter. Having a compatible UE skill, but I don't know why. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why does this look better than the retargeter? Why is having a UE4 compatible skeleton with different proportions to me? Why aren't the feet sliding? Oh. There might just not be a lot of feet sliding in this mocap take. That not a lot of instances, but still, I don't. That's so confusing. For another time. Okay, I gotta jump. See y'all. See you on the next one. Bye. This was great. See ya.